Hello everybody, Chris Andresen here at the Bike Hub with my buddy Josh.
Hey, what's up?
Want to fill you guys in on where we're at here at the shop and kind of talk about where kind of the bike industry is right now. Through this we're deep into this COVID thing now, and we just kind of fill everybody in with that. But
Yeah, so first off, thanks so much to everyone out there who was a customer of the shop this year while we've been trying to figure things out. That was quite the feat to tackle because we were busier than we've ever been before. And we had a very, very few issues relaying our problems or what was holding us back. And people really understood. And that was great. So we appreciate your patience with us. Especially those of you that had to wait 2 or 3 months for your part to come in.
Yeah,
we know it hurts.
I guess big thanks for being patient with us. Our process had to change so quickly with what was just being thrown at us through whatever the state was telling us we had to operate with and just what was going on. We were changing as quick as we could and adapting as quickly as we could. Hopefully that experience was still great for you guys. And so thanks again for being patient with us. We had a busy summer. It ended up being a really great summer for business and keeping up, but it was definitely challenging.
Yeah.
Pretty fun to see a lot of new people on bikes.
Yeah. If you see the guys around at all, any of the guys that are working at the shop, make them go for a bike ride with you because they missed out on a ton of riding this year. We did obviously switch our hours of operation, which we know might have inconvenienced a few people out there, but it did make it so that all of the people working at the bike shop didn't die.
That is true.
Yeah, they were very glad to have 2 days off in a row, so we appreciate you guys making that change with us. It let them have a little bit of free time and actually get some riding in, which is good.
Yeah, and we are planning on keeping those hours through the winter and through the spring. So we will be operating Tuesday through Saturday, 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and close Sunday, Mondays for sure, just from here on out. It worked really well for us. It gave the guys a break. They were working their tail off. So appreciate that. So we want to talk about kind of where we're at the Bike Hub right now, especially our inventory levels. That's probably the biggest topic of conversation right now is are there bikes to buy? And we are in a pretty good situation having 2 big anchor lines. Trek and Giant have done a really great job communicating with us on what's coming down the pipeline, what's going to come in the stores. What we're seeing, September was a pretty good month. We ended up receiving quite a few bikes in, all the way from entry-level kids bikes, nice hardtails, all up to some of the newer, nicer product too from Full Suspension Mountain. So we're okay.
Yeah, we actually have quite a bit of inventory.
Yeah.
We don't have everything. A lot of the high-end stuff is missing now, which is unfortunate, but we do have tons of bikes on order. I think I ordered 60 Santa Cruz bikes. Ooh. And we have a ton of Giant road, full suspension, their Contend AR and Avail AR bikes. So all of the popular bikes that we have from last year, they're all on order. They're going to come in. We have tons and tons of parts back ordered with all of our distributors. So if you've seen it, but it's not available yet, it will be. We're going to have it all.
We're going to see quite a few transition bikes in the store this year, more than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep transition in stock this year.
Ooh, that's a challenge.
It is a challenge. You guys all know those bikes are sweet, so hopefully we have one for you at least to touch for a day or two before it goes out the door, which is what seemed to happen anytime we had one in for stock. So those Sentinels, the Spur, the new Scout, those bikes all crushed it.
Yeah, so I think if you're thinking about bikes or parts or accessories for Christmas, I'd say definitely don't wait, especially if you're looking for bikes. Get in early. The guys are really good about searching, getting ETAs on stuff, and making sure to know if your product's going to be here or not. But don't wait to that last week or so if you're thinking about a bike for Christmas.
Last minute won't work this year on any part or on anything. For the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've really been struggling to get platform pedals. We are literally watching every single morning for platform pedals.
Nothing.
We need something from any of the companies out there, you know, Deity, Raceface. We're trying to get that stuff in, but that's not the only item. That's just the one I'm bringing up at the moment. There are things that are just absolutely gone, and that cycle will continue, and it will probably continue for the next 6 months or so, where as factories are building car racks, all of those materials for those car racks would have been building your handlebars or your pedals or whatever. So things are shifting around, and we will see spotty inventory for probably at least the next 6 months.
Yeah, that kind of brings us into the next thing is what will the 2021 spring and early summer look like for your experience when you come in the shop when it comes to the inventory and that. And we're going to have a shortage. There's no doubt about it. No shops have full inventory levels right now. Everybody's waiting, especially parts, like Josh was saying, platform pedals we just can't get. It could be spring or later before we're going to have regular inventory levels. So what's your advice, Josh, you'd say to people that are going to be in the market for buying a new bike, getting any parts done, or any even service? Like service parts are going to be a problem then.
Service parts are going to be a problem. We do have some very helpful reps that have helped put together some orders for us, and we have the buyers in the stores they have built huge parts orders. I think right now I can't even tell you how many parts we have on back order. It's a lot. I think we've built from Shimano alone probably 9 orders that will be stocking the store through the year, which is a lot. That's a lot of parts coming in. And we have probably 1,800 bikes on back order. So if you have something you want, just get a hold of us. We'll get you on the list. We'll make sure that we have it in our system. Some of you may have experienced our pre-order system with bikes this year. It's going to be very similar for a lot of our parts. We will have access at each store to the pre-orders that we have coming, so they'll be able to see what is coming, what's been sold, and has it shipped, or when will it ship. So.
Yeah, and we've had pretty accurate ETAs. But to give you guys ideas, we are actually taking deposits on bikes that we aren't going to be able to deliver till May or June. And that's where we're at. So if you guys are thinking about bikes or parts or anything like that, don't wait. Don't wait till spring to get here to put those on there. Really think about it. We have time now to talk about this and really help people get educated on what direction they want to go. But yeah, we have a lot of the layaway. What I'm looking and seeing in the layaways is crazy compared to previous years. And these people they're willing to wait. Because you're not going to get it if you don't.
We are right now delivering. We've probably delivered almost all of them, and we've had to. We've almost delivered every bike that was ordered by August. So we are catching up, and we're ready to start doing that again, which kind of segues us into the next thing. Chris was saying, don't wait. Do not wait to get your bike serviced. We are going to run into the same issues with small parts for your bicycle, like repair parts, seal kits for your fork or your shock, the complete service kits, because we are going to be fully set up to do in-house suspension service all the way through the damper. Every aspect of suspension service, we are moving that in-house so that instead of 2 weeks at minimum without a shock, which usually this year was 4 to 6 weeks without a shock, we're aiming for 5 to 7 days at our busiest time.
Yeah, this is something that I really want to talk to everybody about. Is we see this every year where people come in with their suspension bikes or their performance bikes or even their basic hardtails, whatever it is, during spring when it gets busy, and then they need a huge job done. And because it's going to be hard to get parts, the turnaround on that could be literally weeks to months if they do it. So we want everyone to get their bikes in as early as possible. Bring them in the dead of winter. You're not going to be riding them. It'll give us time to get the bike service, and the bike will be ready to go. Before we talk about the new service that we're going to offer, though, I want to talk about what we see, Josh, common things that are neglected on bikes and they wait kind of to spring to bring them in, but maybe people need to know that there's a lot of things that need to be maintained and looked at almost every year on these bikes.
Yeah, there is a lot. anything with a fluid in it should be serviced once a year. If you're actually using your bike, your brakes should be flushed, your fork should be done, your complete fork service, complete rear shock service. That's going to help those parts function for longer. One, they're getting cleaned externally. They're getting cleaned internally because all of that old dirty fluid is getting flushed out. Everything's getting wiped down and cleaned, and possibly a complete seal service done on the fork or shock while we're at it.
Yeah, and we're talking about full suspension bikes, bearings, rear end bearings especially.
Rear end bearings.
We always see those neglected. They're just not looked at until there's a problem, and those really need to be opened up once a year at minimum.
And it's a pretty, that service takes a long time. So to schedule that into our workload, and there could be any number of problems we run into trying to remove an old bearing or whatever, it's better to have your bike down in the winter and then just have this fresh machine. You're used to how the bike feels. You don't want to replace it. You just want it to feel like new. Let that happen over winter time.
Yeah, so get your bikes in, give us a time, because if you're doing a full service, let's say you have a full suspension bike and you need your brakes flushed out, you need your suspension done front and rear, and you need your rear end bearings, that is 3 to 4 hours at minimum with an experienced tech to do that. And you don't want to be out weeks missing those great riding days. Bring it in now where the weather's kind of crummy and and then so it's ready to go. So bring it in early.
Sealant as well, which I forgot to bring up.
Tire
sealant. Most of you are tubeless.
You don't want stanimals.
No stanimals where that ball is just rolling around in that tire.
Not doing it. It's not going to seal anything.
We talked about mountain bikes. Road bikes are almost on the same exact page, everybody. Your road bike, just make it feel fresh for the year. New chain, cables replaced, brakes bled, possibly pads replaced. Like a lot of these road bikes have disc brakes now.
Check the bearings.
A lot of them have tubeless tires.
Yeah.
Road bikes burn through headset and bottom bracket bearings. So those pieces alone can make your bike feel like new. So
yeah,
bring them all in.
So the last part we'll go back and touch on is the suspension service. We'll get a little more. So in the past we were able to do an air shock, rear suspension. Talk about the rear shock is the air sleeves. Like we pulled apart, if you're losing air, we're able to do that. But this is going to actually dive into the shock. We're going to tear this thing down to the cartridge,
shocks
right?
All the way apart.
And the reason
it's the same service you would experience from SRAM or Fox or any of the other suspension tech service centers that are out there.
We're going to offer the same guarantee they do for their service to them, and we're going to be able to get the shocks back faster because we can do them in-house now.
Yep. We have an experienced tech that has already done this for part of her career. That's who we'll start with, and then we'll branch out to all the other shops and have, we'll hopefully have multiple people that can take care of this. We send so many shocks back. We just needed to get this taken care of.
Yeah,
in-house.
This is something, people were just not having their bikes for weeks because of this one piece of it. And so we got everything in place, the proper tooling, everything's ready to go. So we'll be starting on this. This will be opening up here weeks. So this will be a great time to get your bikes in. Let's inspect them and get everything rebuilt for them. So
yeah.
So that's all I had on the list today, Josh. You got anything
That's it for today.
major?
No.
Yeah.
That's thanks so much for watching or listening. We did this because we want you guys to be prepared. We also want you to help us stay busy in the winter time because it's like we can give your bike the most attention.
Yeah, we have time.
And that is it's almost like undistracted attention to the bike. We're gonna catch so many things. It's gonna come back cleaner. It's gonna come back feeling good.
If you're gonna bring your bike in for major service, bring in the winter. It's literally the best time for that.
Yeah, we'll catch those things that would have come up in May.
Yeah, well, cheers, Josh. See you on the trail.
All right, see you out there.